What's up, world? This your boy Carol B back again for another video. Today, I want to share how uh, easy or how difficult it's been for me to maintain and stay sober. So far, I've been sober for about 6 months now. As I told you at the beginning of my YouTube channel journey, um, I had a drug addiction problem for 7 years living in LA. And before I moved to LA, I was either living in my car, living on someone else's couch, sleeping in someone else's couch, and or literally sleeping on the street. And I mean sleeping on park benches, bus stop benches, the whole nine. I was out there. Now, how I ended up in that predicament, that's a story. That's a story for another day, a video for another day. I promise. But since I came to Virginia, I told myself I have an opportunity. God has given me an opportunity to start fresh, start over with my life, and giving me a second chance to get myself together and do the things that I've always aspired and wanted to do for myself. Be an entrepreneur, own a business, etc., etc. And um, the last time that I smoked or did any kind of drug was my last day doing any kind of drug was November 30th because I got on the plane to Virginia December 1st. So November 30th was my very last day in LA and my very last day doing drugs, getting high. And so each and every day that I move away from November 30th, I've been taking everything one day at a time. And no, it's not easy. I have those urges to want to get high. I have them not as often as I did when I first came to Virginia because, after 7 years of having a habit, I when I got into a new environment and when I got into a new environment and new surroundings, I felt kind of displaced out of order if I wasn't doing the same thing that I was accustomed to doing. I mean, yeah, I'd have a job in LA, but those jobs didn't last long because as soon as I get either my first paycheck or my second paycheck, I'm out all night getting high. Most of the times by myself, or usually with one of my one of my friends, or with a not. I'll just refer to her as a woman. But anyway, like I said, being in Virginia and being out of my element, being out of my environment and away from my old habit, trying to develop a new habit, um, those first those first 2 months was really hard, um, mentally on me. Like I said, trying to develop a new habit of staying clean, going to work, and finding something else to occupy my time. Finding something new to occupy my time is one of the main reasons why I got into wanting to make YouTube videos and share YouTube videos or share my story on YouTube. I feel like there's somebody out there right now watching this video or who will watch this video who is dealing with some kind of addiction. Doesn't either it could be drugs or it could be alcohol. Sure, it could be sex, it could be gambling, dealing with some kind of addiction. And they wanna stop, because they see and they know how that addiction is just messing up their lives. They can't progress, they can't take care of themselves, they can't take care of their loved ones, all because they're in need to feed their addiction. And they want to stop, but they just don't know how. And for me, because it may not be the same for other people, but for me, I was at the end of my road when I found myself sleeping on the streets, literally on the streets. Outside of my family's house. I had I had burnt that bridge with my family, and to the point where um, I haven't spoken to I haven't spoken to my family uh, since I left California, since I left Los Angeles. And I know that things that I did in LA to feed my habit, feed my addiction. I know I hurt the people that I love, and that's something that I'm dealing with on my own. Now, granted, um, there was issues. There was issues going on within my family before I started using drugs. In hindsight, probably drove me to using drugs. But again, that's another story for another day. But like I said, once I found myself sleeping on the street, I would remember old conversations with my mother. My mother worked, uh, well, she had two jobs. She worked for Food for Less, a grocery store. She was the district manager. And her side job was she worked for Frito-Lay. She would go to different grocery stores at 2, 3, 4 in the mornings and stack the chips on the racks, in the aisles at the grocery stores. And she would wake me up at 2, 3 in the morning and would take me with her. And while we would drive to these different grocery stores from Inglewood to Long Beach, all over Southern California, I remember her pointing out, you know, these these rows of people sleeping in their tents, people sleeping on the street, people sleeping in parks, and her talking about how she never wanted any of her children to end up like that, homeless, helpless, and on drugs. And I had found myself at the end of the road. That's where I was. And that's when I knew that I needed to change. As much as I love Los Angeles, my home, the place where I grew up, my city, I knew I needed to change. And I wasn't going to be able to change in Los Angeles. So that's what that's what motivated me, drove me, sparked that fire in me to want to get my life on track. Um, and since I've been in Virginia, like I said, the first 2 months, those urges were there. But as time continued as time continued, and other things came came aroused in my life, issues with my father, because I came out here to live with him, but then he turned out to show me his true colors. Again, that's another story, another video for another day. But once I left his house, I moved myself out of his house on my own doing. He didn't throw me out. And I was literally out on my own. I wasn't sleeping on the street out here, but I was out on my own in this new city, in this new state, where I don't know too many people out here. I don't have, I don't have any or much friends. I got a couple friends who I can talk to, hang out with out here. But nevertheless, you know, starting new relationships is different, obviously, from having the friends who I grew up with in Los Angeles. And so being out on my own, having to take care of myself, feed myself, manage my money better with, you know, okay, I gotta pay for where I'm, rent, gotta pay for, at the time I was sleeping in hotels, um, making sure I have enough money to to pay my weekly fee at the hotel, et cetera, et cetera. All these things, about me managing my money was, you know, like when I had those urges to want to go find some 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 drugs to do and get high, I thought about my priorities, my priority to take care of myself. Now that I'm out on my own, I was at the end of my road in Los Angeles. I don't want to, you know, come to a new state, come to a new city, and get back on that same BS. It that just that stuck in my mind, stuck in my heart. I couldn't do that to myself. And so um, fast forward to 6 months, and I gotta say that I still have those urges, but they're each day, because I take everything one day at a time. Each day I'm stronger mentally and spiritually to continue to push forward, continue to move myself forward, to keep my mind focused on the things that I want to get accomplished for myself. Make sure I get to work every day, um, make sure I have my rent paid for where I'm staying at now. And I've actually, with each video that I've posted on YouTube, I'm actually, this is a hobby that I'm starting to like and get accustomed to more and more, and learning more about YouTube. I'm doing any and everything to keep myself occupied with productive activities to not revert back to my old ways. And even though I may be confident in that, I just don't want to say that, oh, I'm past uh, my addiction, because, I haven't been tested yet. And what I mean by tested is that my drug of choice hasn't been put in front of my face since November 30th, since I left Los Angeles. So I haven't been tested yet. And that would be the true test for myself to see if I'm truly past my drug using days. But so far, um, my mental is getting stronger. My spirit is building up. I gotta thank God. I give God the glory. I give God my grace, my praise, because if it wasn't for Him, I prayed so much during my addiction that He get me out of that, and I'm thankful that I'm 6 months clean, and I want to continue to move forward. And so that's just, I just wanted to share that with whoever may watch this video, whoever may need to hear a little bit of inspiration. Like I said, no matter what type of addiction that you're dealing with, it could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be gambling, it could be whatever type of addiction that you're dealing with, and you truly want to change your life because you see it's not benefiting you, but it's hard to do so. Hey, even though I didn't go the rehab route, if that's the best solution for you, then by all means, you have to find it. You have to find the strength and the will within yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to take that step forward to better my life. Look within yourself, deep within yourself. Look beyond, underneath the need to want to feed your addiction, because eventually it's going to suck you up. It's going to suck the life out of you. And it may actually literally suck the life out of you to the point where you'll no longer be here. So if you're seeing this video and you're dealing with some kind of addiction, I pray that you'll find it within yourself to help yourself to get clean and get your life back on track. It's never too late. If I can do it, you can too, and I'm praying for you. Peace.